today we'll be talking about thyroid hormone, all the things that you need to know about thyroid hormone. So let's start. So first let's start with the characteristics. So thyroid hormone is an anabolic hormone, right? And it is secreted in two forms, that is T3 and T4. T4 is known as thyroxine, whereas T3 is known as thyronine, right? And the ratio of T4 is to T3 is 20 is to 1. T3 is an active hormone and then T4, right? So now next one is, let's know the functions of thyroid hormone, right? So the major function of thyroid hormone is it increases the metabolic rate. And how can it increase metabolic rate? That is, if there is increased sodium potassium ATPase activity. So there is increased sodium potassium ATPase activity, and there is increased metabolic rate, and this leads to these things, that is oxygen consumption, increased respiratory rate, and increased body temperature. So it means that thyroid hormone is also responsible for increased oxygen consumption, increased respiratory rate, and increased body temperature. Now, the next function is it is essential for bone growth and normal brain maturation, right? And it also is associated with growth hormone. It synergizes with growth hormone for development of bones and for development of brain, right? So now the next Now, the next point that we should know is that it is permissive for beta receptor function, right? And elevated thyroid hormone can increase the number of beta 1 receptors in heart. So due to this, if there is beta 1 receptors are beta 1 receptors are stimulated, that means there is increased cardiac output, increased heart rate, increased contractility of heart, and increased stroke volume. We also know that cardiac output, let me just write it. Okay. We also know that cardiac output is equal to heart rate into stroke. Okay. So we know that cardiac output is equal to heart rate into stroke volume. So if there is increased cardiac output, means there is increased heart rate and increased stroke volume. Now, thyroid hormone is also responsible for increased gluconeogenesis and increased glycogenolysis, right? So there is increased gluconeogenesis, that is, glucose is formed from the new sources such as amino acid, that is non-carbohydrate sources, right? So that is gluconeogenesis. And there is increased lipolysis, right? There is increased erythropoietin levels, and thyroid hormone also leads to increase in motility of GI tract, right? And it is also responsible for increased bone turnover.